Hey there, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're embarking on what feels like, well, kind of an epic quest. The often bewildering journey of entrepreneurship. You know, that landscape where incredible ideas are born every day, but gosh, so many of them simply vanish. Not because they weren't brilliant, but because the path from that initial spark to a thriving, sustainable business can feel completely shrouded in fog.
It's a stark reality for so many. I mean, the statistics are pretty relentless. Something like 90% of startups fail. And even established businesses, they frequently struggle to adapt in this, rapidly changing world. What's often missing isn't a lack of talent or even innovation, but a truly comprehensive roadmap. Most advice tends to be siloed. You get a marketing tactic here, maybe a leadership tip there. But rarely do these pieces connect into a cohesive, actionable whole. It's fragmented.
And that's precisely what we're here to unravel today. Our source material for this deep dive, The Entrepreneur's Odyssey, really promises to be that guiding star. What sets it apart, I think, is its unique ability to integrate these powerful methodologies from seemingly disparate philosophies.
Yeah.
Like, think the profound leadership insights of Jim Collins' Good to Great, combined with the laser-focused value optimization frameworks of someone like Alex Hormozy. It's a fascinating blend.
It really is. And what's particularly compelling about this book, I find, is its insistence on a holistic approach. It frames the entrepreneurial journey as this structured evolution, mirroring how truly successful businesses are actually built. From the very foundational work on your internal mindset all the way through to scaling and ensuring long-term sustainability. It directly confronts that common, often fatal mistake of rushing to scale before those solid foundations are truly in place.
Right. So our mission today is basically to cut through all that complexity. We're going to extract the most potent, the most game-changing nuggets from the Entrepreneur's Odyssey to give you a practical shortcut. We want to help you build something that not only withstands the inevitable challenges, but, genuinely flourishes. We'll explore everything from mastering your internal mindset to achieving crystal clear strategic focus, how to rapidly test and validate your ideas, and ultimately how to construct a business that generates lasting value far beyond just quarterly profits. Okay, let's truly dive in. Okay, let's start right at the very beginning. Most people believe a great idea is like the fundamental starting point for any successful venture. But the Entrepreneur's Odyssey says something else is even more foundational, something often completely overlooked. What is it? And why does the book stress its importance so much?
That's a really astute observation, and it cuts right to the core of where so many entrepreneurs falter, honestly. Before you even think about business models or marketing strategies, the book argues, you absolutely must address your own mindset. Jim Rohn famously said, your business will grow only to the extent that you do, right? And the Entrepreneur's Odyssey echoes this by introducing us to level 5 leadership, which comes from Jim Collins. It's a somewhat paradoxical blend. Immense personal humility combined with just fierce professional will. It's about having towering ambition, sure, but directing that ambition first and foremost for the institution, for the company's success, rather than for personal glory or, public recognition. This really challenges that prevalent hero entrepreneur narrative we see everywhere.
That genuinely flips the script on what success looks like. Because when we think of entrepreneurs, we often imagine these larger-than-life figures. But the book advocates for something different. So how does this level 5 leader actually behave in practice? What does that look like day to day?
Well, a key practice the book highlights is what Collins calls attribution discipline. It's quite interesting. When things go wrong, a level 5 leader looks in the mirror first, takes full responsibility, no excuses. But when things go right, they immediately credit their team or external factors or even just sheer luck. This isn't just about, being humble for humility's sake. It's a strategic practice. It fundamentally shifts team dynamics, it fosters a culture of deep accountability, and it builds incredible resilience. Think about it. If you're always deflecting blame when things are tough, or maybe hogging credit when things are great, what kind of culture are you actually building? This practice cultivates an environment where everyone feels ownership and feels empowered.
Okay, so if it's not about being the hero, does this humble approach mean you can't have a bold, audacious vision? It kind of seems like those two ideas might clash a little bit.
Oh, quite the contrary. If we connect this to the bigger picture, level 5 leadership doesn't imply a lack of ambition at all. Not one bit. In fact, it pairs perfectly with another concept, definite optimism, which Peter Thiel introduces in 0 to 1. Now, this isn't just wishful thinking, right? It's the profound belief that 1, the future will be better than the present, and 2, crucially, and I can make it so through specific plans. Imagine someone like Elon Musk. he doesn't just have these audacious visions, he backs them up with incredibly concrete technological roadmaps and then executes relentlessly. This combined mindset gives you incredible clarity of vision, it gives you a powerful bias toward action, and crucially, it creates a magnetic leadership that attracts others to help you build that future.
Wow. So you need that blend. Humble, institution-first leadership coupled with bold, meticulously planned optimism.
Exactly. It's a truly potent cocktail for success.
Okay, with your mindset aligned and your personal engine revving, how do you then focus all that energy?
The entrepreneurial landscape can feel like, I don't know, an endless buffet of opportunities or sometimes just a chaotic wilderness. The book strongly pushes for deep, almost ruthless focus. What does that look like in practice?
Yeah, focus is critical. And what's truly illuminating here is the hedgehog concept, another gem from Jim Collins. It stems from that ancient Greek parable. The fox knows many things, but the hedgehog knows one big thing. Oh, whoa. The book argues that truly successful companies and entrepreneurs simplify their entire world down to a single, unifying, organizing principle. It's found at the sweet spot, the intersection of three overlapping circles. First circle. What are you deeply passionate about? Like, what genuinely energizes and inspires you and your team every single day? This isn't just about liking something, it's about what truly ignites your soul, what gets you up in the morning. Second circle. Where can you be truly exceptional? And this isn't about being good or even great. It's about having the potential to be best in the world in a very specific, carefully defined domain. This requires some brutal honesty about your capabilities, you know? And third circle, what drives your economic engine? This is your profit per X metric. It clarifies how you actually make money sustainably. For example, Walgreens discovered its engine was profit per customer visit, not per store. That drove decisions like putting stores on high traffic corners. Wells Fargo, back in the day, focused on profit per employee. Finding your specific metric brings crystal clear focus.
That makes so much sense. Simplifying everything down to that one core idea. The hedgehog concept.
Yeah.
But finding that intersection, finding your hedgehog, sounds incredibly challenging. The book notes, it's definitely not a quick exercise. How long does it really take?
You're absolutely right to pick up on that. This is not a whiteboard exercise you just knocked out in an afternoon. Definitely not. The book emphasizes that discovering your hedgehog concept can take months, sometimes even years, of relentless questioning. Data analysis, deep self-reflection, intense debate within the team. It takes time to truly crystallize. It requires a real discipline to say no to many good, maybe even great opportunities that just don't fit squarely within those three circles. So many entrepreneurs get distracted by, shiny objects. But the enduring ones, they commit to the singular focus. It's about knowing your one big thing so intimately that it guides literally every strategic decision you make.
Okay, so you've cultivated this powerful mindset. You've laser focused your strategic energy with the hedgehog concept. How do you then avoid becoming one of those, 90% of startups that ultimately fail? Because they've spent months or maybe even years building something the market simply doesn't want. This feels like a really critical juncture.
It is a critical juncture, and that's precisely where the Entrepreneur's Odyssey really challenges traditional business planning. The book emphatically rejects the whole idea of spending ages building in isolation, perfecting everything, only to launch into, silence, crickets. Instead, it champions something called the weekend launch methodology. The core premise is pretty radical, but incredibly effective. The fastest, most reliable way to validate a business idea is to attempt to sell it to real, paying customers as quickly as humanly possible. Like this weekend. True validation, the book argues quite forcefully, requires actual sales, cold hard cash or at least credit card numbers, not just positive survey results or, enthusiastic verbal commitments from friends and family who want to be nice.
True validation requires sales. Wow. That's a huge shift from just getting feedback. And honestly, it sounds pretty daunting, pulling off a launch in just a weekend. What's the secret then to making that kind of rapid validation actually happen? How's that even possible?
Yeah, it sounds intense, but it comes down to a concept called minimum viable everything. And specifically, creating a minimum viable offer, MVO. Minimum viable everything means streamlining every single part of your operation, from your internal tools to your processes, your communication, everything to create the absolute leanest, most direct path to getting that first sale. It's about extreme resourcefulness, and that culminates in your minimum viable offer. MVO. Now, your MVO isn't your full polished product, not at all. It's the simplest possible solution that delivers real, undeniable value to solve a single, most important problem for your target customer. Just one. You strip away all the bells and whistles. You use existing off-the-shelf tools, think Zapier, Google Sheets, whatever works to streamline delivery. And you prioritize absolute clarity over unattainable perfection. Good enough is the goal here. This methodology is deeply rooted in Eric Ries's lean startup methodology, and its famous build, measure, learn feedback loop. Your MVO functions as your initial MVP, your minimum viable product. But it's more than just a basic product. It's a strategic learning tool. It's explicitly designed to test specific business hypotheses with minimal resources, minimal risk. The ultimate goal is to collect concrete data and feedback sales data, usage data, customer feedback rapidly so you can make informed decisions. Do we pivot our strategy based on what we learned, or do we persevere and double down on what's clearly working? It's all about iterative learning and, frankly, reducing the risk of building something nobody actually wants to pay for.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you've got your purpose, your sharp focus. You've rapidly validated that there's a real market for what you offer. You're learning fast. You're getting those crucial initial sales. Now, how do you transition from those early wins to genuinely scaling up and building a business that creates lasting long-term value? What's the next phase?
Right, scaling. What's fascinating here is how the book directly links scaling to a relentless pursuit of value creation. It's not just about getting bigger. It introduces Hormozi's value equation as like the beating heart of crafting truly irresistible offers that drive growth. The equation basically is perceived value equals dream outcome multiplied by likelihood of achievement divided by time delay multiplied by effort and sacrifice. So to scale effectively, you have to systematically enhance each part of this equation for your customer. You need to amplify the dream outcome. This isn't about features, remember. It's about the ultimate aspirational transformation your customer desires. Think beyond just selling a drill bit. People want the whole or maybe the perfectly hung picture frame. Beyond a diet plan, they want confidence, energy, feeling good. Then you must increase the likelihood of achievement. How? By providing social proof, testimonials, compelling case studies, and especially through powerful risk reversal mechanisms like strong guarantees. Make it a no-brainer. Crucially, you must relentlessly reduce the time delay to results. Focus on delivering quick wins, immediate gratification if possible. People are impatient. And finally, minimize the effort and sacrifice required from the customer. Simplify processes, make it incredibly easy to buy, to use, and to benefit from your solution. Remove friction.
That equation is incredibly insightful. It feels almost like a cheat code for understanding customer psychology and crafting offers. But how do these irresistible offers, once you've crafted them using that equation, actually contribute to long-term growth and scalability? What's the connection?
Yeah, it's a powerful framework. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, creating these irresistible offers at different price points allows you to build out what's known as a value ladder. This is really important for scaling. This ladder can range from, say, free lead magnets that offer a tiny initial win, getting someone into your ecosystem, all the way up to premium, high-ticket, transformational solutions for your best customers. This strategic ladder is absolutely vital for maximizing customer lifetime value, CLV. How much is a customer worth over their entire relationship with you? And the research here is compelling. Even a modest 5% increase in CLV can boost your profits by a staggering 25% to 95%. Think about that. So this isn't just about getting more initial sales. It's about cultivating loyal, repeat customers who become advocates, who buy again and again. This, in turn, becomes a solid foundation for the flywheel effect, another concept Jim Collins explored extensively. It's not about one huge, exhaustive push that burns everyone out. It's about a series of continuous, consistent pushes in the same strategic direction. Each successful turn of the flywheel may be improving your offer, getting more customers, leading to better economies of scale, allowing you to improve the offer again, builds its unstoppable, self-reinforcing momentum. Think about Amazon's iconic flywheel. Lower prices lead to more customer visits, which attracts more third-party sellers, which expands selection, which then leads to even more customer visits. And that scale feeds back into allowing even lower prices. This beautiful, virtuous cycle.
Yeah, the idea of a flywheel is really powerful. Building that kind of momentum over time seems key. But, okay, the market is constantly shifting, right? Things change so fast. How does a business stay relevant and keep that flywheel spinning when the world around it is in constant flux? That seems like a huge challenge.
It is a huge challenge, and that brings us squarely to the absolute necessity of constant reinvention. Jack Welch, the legendary GE CEO, famously warned, if the rate of change on the outside exceeds the rate of change on the inside, the end is near. That's a stark warning. The book emphasizes that truly enduring companies manage to successfully preserve their core values and purpose, that hedgehog concept we talked about earlier, their fundamental reason for being. But, and this is critical, they are fearlessly willing to change everything else. Their products, their processes, their strategies, even the markets they compete in. Nothing else is sacred. This requires becoming what some call an ambidextrous organization. It sounds tricky, but it means being capable of simultaneously doing two seemingly contradictory things. One, exploiting your current business success, making existing operations more efficient, more profitable, optimizing what works now. And two, exploring future opportunities, actively innovating new solutions, new products, new markets, placing bets on the future. Think of a company like Disney. Their core value of storytelling and creating magical experiences endures. Right. But they constantly reinvent how they deliver it, from hand-drawn animation decades ago to CGI to massive theme parks, now to streaming services like Disney Plus Day. It's this continuous dance between optimization and innovation. You have to do both.
Okay, so we've really covered a lot of ground. We've journeyed from cultivating a powerful mindset and finding that sharp strategic focus, through the rapid action of validating ideas and then effectively scaling with value, all the way to understanding the critical need for continuous reinvention to stay relevant. What then is the ultimate destination? What's the legacy of the entrepreneur's Odyssey? What's the grand finale, the end goal?
This leads us to perhaps the most profound question the book poses, really. What do you truly want your entrepreneurial journey to mean? The book powerfully stresses the importance of creating impact that extends far beyond mere financial profit. That's not the ultimate scorecard. At the close of your journey, whenever that may be, what will truly matter won't just be the deals you closed, or the valuations you achieved, or the profit you generated. It will be the impact you've created. This encompasses so much: the lives you've positively touched, the significant problems you've genuinely solved for your customers, the team members you've developed and mentored and empowered along the way, and the values you've instilled and perpetuated within your organization and maybe even your wider community. As Peter Drucker so eloquently put it, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Legacy building, in this context, is about purposefully designing that future, making sure your venture leaves a positive, lasting mark that resonates long after you're gone.
Legacy transcends transactions. Wow, that's an incredibly powerful thought. It really shifts the focus, doesn't it? From simply accumulating wealth to making a lasting, meaningful difference in the world. Wow, what an absolutely incredible deep dive into the entrepreneur's Odyssey today. We've truly seen how this book provides such a comprehensive, integrated framework, from cultivating that paradoxical level 5 leadership mindset and embracing definite optimism, to finding your sharp, singular focus with the hedgehog concept, then rapidly validating your ideas with the weekend launch methodology and minimum viable offers. It's so practical. Then we moved into scaling intelligently with Hormozy's value equation and building that unstoppable momentum with the flywheel effect, all while understanding the critical need for constant reinvention. And finally, realizing that the ultimate goal, perhaps, is to build for a legacy that profoundly transcends the balance sheet. It's quite a journey.
Indeed. And what's particularly resonant about this book, I think, is that it doesn't just present these intriguing theories in isolation. It directly provides actionable steps and really challenges you, the reader, the listener, to move beyond merely consuming information. It makes it abundantly clear throughout. Implementation, not just information, is what creates true transformation. You have to do the work.
That's such an important distinction, and it connects directly to our goal here on the deep dive.
Yeah.
So what does all of this mean for your next steps listening right now?
The book is filled with powerful calls to action, things like dedicating regular, protected time to working on your business rather than just perpetually being stuck in it, fighting fires. It encourages you to actually sit down and complete your own entrepreneurial blueprint, mapping out these concepts for your specific venture, or perhaps, no matter what stage your business is in right now, maybe it's time to intentionally start planning your legacy. What impact do you want to leave? Yeah, and this raises a crucial question for you, our listener, to ponder. What one concept from today's deep dive resonated most deeply with you? Just pick one. And then what one action, maybe even a small one, will you commit to taking this week to apply it? Remember that quote from the book: "Your entrepreneurial odyssey continues. Make it extraordinary."
We genuinely encourage you to reflect on that question and, more importantly, take that step. Action creates clarity. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep building something that truly matters.